Hi guys, how are you? I was not planning to do this video, so just we're gonna be winging it because I have no idea how this is gonna go because wasn't completely planned. I feel that God is doing cleanup in my life and He is eliminating people left and right, and they need to be gone. Let's not make any bones about it. One of them, it's going to be really different losing this person because I've known her for a lot of years and we've helped each other through a lot, and this person has a type A personality from my personal observation. Everything has to be perfect. Always has to have her cup overflowing with stuff, always have to have 5,000 balls juggling at the same time. Overwhelmed all the time, but wouldn't really have it any other way. Overachiever. And then there's this need to be needed and this need to be acknowledged as in this particular person's world, used to work in the corporate world and was important and had powerful positions and this and that. But that changes when you become disabled because now your world has been flipped upside down. Your world as you knew it doesn't exist anymore. And then she was still trying to juggle the balls and she was still ignoring the fact that her body was getting worse and worse. And then she started to take those emotions, the frustration and the anger, and started to misdirect it where it doesn't need to be. And I'm sure we're all guilty of that. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm Mother Teresa. I've done that too. I flipped out and got really angry about stuff. And I'm like, what is my problem? And then I will come to the realization that this is the reason I'm flipping out, or I'm angry about this, or this is what's really going on. I'll have to do some self-examining to find out what the heck is going on. And I think we all, that's how you're growing as a person, when you're able to identify that you are behaving a little bit irrationally, and instead of getting defensive when someone brings this up to you because they're trying to save you because you're going down the wrong path pretty fast. So if somebody's trying to help you out and show you something on the outside that you don't recognize within yourself, and they're like, this is what I see happening with you, you're behaving in a way that you normally don't. What's going on? So the person, instead of taking constructive criticism, decided to say, well, you're something along the lines of, well, you're not perfect yourself and you this, that, and I wish you well. I never said I was perfect. Not one time did I ever say that I was perfect. I have, however, said that if you're growing as a person, you need to have, you should have the ability to self-examine every day. And when you're acting in a way that's irrational, sometimes you don't know you're acting in that way. And that's when people who love you will say, you know what? And I've talked about this in other videos. You know what? You've been real angry lately. What's going on? Or you've been attacking everybody for no reason. What's really going on? And a lot of people, I guess it has to do with emotional maturity. Some people can handle criticism, and I don't mean you're a dumbass, why did you do that, what were you thinking? I'm not talking about abuse. I'm talking about something's going on with you. This is what you're doing. What's up? A healthy response, well, sometimes you'll get defensive because you're like, okay, wow, you're attacking me, what's up? And it's like, no, calm down, take a deep breath. I'm not attacking you. I just noticed that there's some behaviors that are going on that is not typical of you at all. And these are the examples of what's going on that's crazy and what's happening. And when people don't want to see the truth, they would rather counterattack you. Why, you're... Whoa, time out. We can bash the hell out of me too. That's fine. I've dealt with that my whole life. You ain't doing nothing that I have not been through my entire life. We could character assassinate the hell out of me if it'll make you feel better. But right now, that's not what we're talking about, is it? And I never said it in a mean way. I never said, what in the hell is wrong with you? I did tell this person, you have a type A personality. She's unable to work. She has not been able to work in a long time. And I'm in the same boat. Your world drastically changes when you have a disability, okay? Drastically changes. There are some things that I am working on, and I don't know if my body's going to let me do it or not, but we shall see what we shall see. But anyway, I never attacked. I just said, this is what's going on. I think you have a type A personality. You have to feel important, and you have this need for people to acknowledge your power and your position and your everything. But that's not important, because you're important to God, okay? So you don't really need to lead other people to believe that you are whoever in charge of whatever. Sometimes it's just not going to happen in your life because of your physical condition. Okay? That's life. People get attacked by sharks, they lose an arm, they lose a leg. Somebody has a car accident, somebody gets hit by a drunk driver. I mean, somebody falls down a flight of steps and breaks their neck. They survived, but they broke their neck. I mean, life freaking happens. You do not have the ability to be in control of everything all the damn time. And when you're prone to certain personality traits, like I have to be important and I need people to think that I'm the bomb, stop it. Because, number one, nobody cares about your power. Nobody cares. So who are you trying to impress? Who are you trying to impress? Nobody gives a damn. Everybody got so much going on in their life. You know, we're juggling all types of balls. This is happening, that's happening. Nobody has time to sit there and go, do you think Sally Sue did something really important today? Everybody stop what you're doing. Let's focus on Sally Sue. Did she do something really important? People don't have time for that. So you're exerting a lot of energy towards something that's going to make you go crazy, make you go in your head, because you're trying to perpetrate this image because your corporate world is over with. And your health is declining, which is not your fault. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean you're a loser. It doesn't mean you're a slacker. And it doesn't mean you have to be a gerbil on a wheel and go faster and harder and faster and harder because I need people to know that I am something. You should know that you're something in your heart, in your soul. God don't make garbage, okay? God don't make junk. So you are somebody. Who are you trying to prove? Just like people that are trying to compete with the Joneses. I had a friend like that. That's stupid. You get a jacket, a suede jacket. I'm gonna get an Italian leather jacket. You got a freaking Ford Focus. I'm gonna get a Mercedes Benz. I mean, keeping up with who the freaking hell has time for that? Who has money for that? Who has energy for that? And who has time for that? Are you serious? But some people live in that world where they need people to know that they are prestigious, or that they have this going on, or they got this kind of... Stop. Take a deep breath and stop. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. And you're trying to impress people who really don't care. Now, it could go deeper, meaning it could stem from the person's childhood. You know, you're never good enough. You got an A. Why didn't you get an A+? You got, I don't know, you got what, 7 subjects in school? You got 6 A's and 1 B. I'm really disappointed in you. You got a B. Wow. I mean, I know, look at all the A's. That's great. But the B, come on. Yeah. You're going to be a failure in life if you have a B on your report card. I mean, so we don't know the psychology behind why people need to do that. And it's not, sometimes, and I'm not attacking anybody who's a parent, I'm just saying this does happen. All right? I'm just keeping it real. There are parents that push their kids too hard, and when they fail, they lost the basketball game or they lost the soccer game or whatever it is, or they got a B. I'm really disappointed in you. I really expected a whole lot more out of you than what you're giving right now. I'm just really disappointed. I can't really look at you right now because I'm just really, really disappointed. And that can cause some serious psychological damage because that person, and there are people like this in the world, people who are highly successful. They're not disabled, so their world has not flipped upside down. Everything they touch turns to gold, and they're still not happy. They have awards, they have plaques, they may have trophies, they may have acknowledgement from the highest person in the entire company. You're holding a luncheon in your honor because you are that awesome. But the person, and like I said, a lot of it stems from the childhood. If they're pushed to perfection as a child, that may never stop as an adult, even when they reach so-called perfection. They're constantly striving for more, 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 more. It doesn't matter how many people stop them in the street and say, Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so, oh my God, I'm so glad to meet you in person. You are phenomenal. You brought in X amount of sales with the company this year. Wow. Or whatever the case is, or you became vice president of the company or whatever, CEO, CFO. But if it's pushed into your head that no matter what you do and no matter how good it is, that's not good enough, that can mess you up psychologically for the rest of your life. Now, it could work two ways. The good side of that is you'll always strive for the stars. You won't accept anything less. The bad side of that is even when you reach the top, you're still disappointed and you still consider your life a failure. So you're striving for an unreachable goal. You're reaching for perfection. No one's perfect. Nothing in the world is perfect. No one is perfect. Surprise! I'm not perfect. I know, I'm sorry to disappoint y'all, but I'm not perfect. I mean, you're striving for something that's not real. For example, I've talked to girls online who always say, oh, I wish I was beautiful like you, meaning the person who's doing the video, whichever video I'm looking at the time. Oh, I wish I wish I was beautiful like you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because you are beautiful in your own way. You have unusual eyes or unusual hair, or you're tall and you have a long, elegant neck, or whatever it is that you have. You have a beautiful speaking voice. You have a beautiful singing voice. You have, there's something about you that other people don't have. So you don't need to strive for what someone else has. They have their gifts and you have yours. Okay? I've also talked to girls who are like, yeah, I seen this chick in a magazine and, I wish I looked like that and I'm an ugly this or that compared to her. Guess what? Let me give you a surprise. That's not them either. The person you see in a magazine, that's called editing. Digital editing. Even if a model is perfect, the client, whoever the client is going to change that image. They're going to make her longer or shorter, or give her a mole, or make her neck longer or shorter, or whatever. So the images you see in a magazine and the models you see in a fashion show, that's not really them. The way you see me now, I'm not like this every day. Are you serious right now? No. Okay? I'm usually a tomboy. You know? My hair will be pulled back. I'll have a baseball cap on my head, t-shirt, shorts, and flip-flops. No makeup. Maybe I'll have makeup on. Maybe I'll have foundation on. So what you see is not always what it is. I mean, this is me. I do look like this, of course, enhanced with makeup because I like makeup. I'm a girl. I'm a tomboy, but I'm still girly sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so you're striving for something that's an unreachable goal. And it's kind of like when you're, I don't know, you have one arm and somebody wants you to do a handstand or a cartwheel. You can't. I mean, if you can, well, my power to you. I mean, I can't. You know, if I had one arm, I couldn't do that. But sometimes striving for protection will be your worst nightmare, and it'll be your worst enemy. Because even when you reach the top of everybody around you, it's still not enough. Now, let me tell you another secret, which none of y'all are going to be surprised by this. The father he is a narcissist. He is the top of the narcissist chain. He is the president. I'm convinced he's the president. He had that same disease too. No matter what you do, it's not good enough. And I knew that when I was a kid. And daughters have a tendency to think a lot of times that their father's feet don't touch the ground. He's amazing. Wherever he went, I wanted to be. Whatever he was doing, I wanted to be part of it. When he was gone, I missed him. And then I got older and I realized that he verbally and physically extremely horrifically abusive. So that resonates with you for life too. Anyway. And then I realized that he's not perfect, but he was expecting perfection out of other people, but he was far from perfect. So there are some adults who are trying to impress their parents, whether they want to admit it or not. And I've actually told somebody, we were in a support group, and I told her, she's like, yeah, I still have this need to to you know, impress my mom. And I wanted to say why. If this person, if you've had accomplishments in your life, and everybody has accomplishments, big, small, medium size, whatever, there's still accomplishments, right? If you've had accomplishments in your life and that still wasn't enough, you got to realize at some point that some people are never going to be happy with what you do anyway. They're not. Some people are just like that. Due to mental illness, due to jealousy, whatever their freaking problem is, no matter what you do, they have a problem with it. So when I realized that I literally could be the first female president of the United States, and his response, the father's response, would have been, that's not too bad. But how come you don't own a series of islands too? And when I realized, I'm not really sure what age it was, but when I realized that he's never going to give you accolades, he's never, do you understand what I'm telling you? Underline, highlight, never going to give you the props that you deserve. You don't worry about that no more. You don't. Because it's a total and complete waste of your freaking time. It's a waste of time. So, when your world changes, and your health changes, or your circumstances drastically change, whether it's financial or whether whatever, you got split up as a family because of parental issues and whatever, one went to jail and one died in foster care, whatever your circumstances or situation is, It could be a permanent situation. And if it is, and in a foster situation, that's maybe not a great comparison. But let's just use the disability thing, because I have a disability, okay? This person has a disability, and her health is declining. As the years go on, her health is declining more. For some people, they can't handle that because they have to be in control. By God, I'm not going to accept that my body is jacked up. No! Well, I'll tell you what, put some cold water on your face, get some hot tea, and calm your ass down, because it's not going to change. If it's a permanent condition, and some illnesses are permanent, there's no cure as of yet, okay? You got to take a deep breath, wash your face, and get you some tea and calm down, because it's not going to change. And for people who are control freaks, and God knows I've met a lot of them. For people who are control freaks, whether they realize it or not, that is something that they refuse to accept, but you don't have a choice. So they're going to be constantly fighting against the grain all the time. It's a lot easier to go with the program than go against it. Let me repeat that. It's a lot easier to go with it than go against it. Okay? Some people, it was subconsciously or otherwise, they just have to be in control. You ain't in control of nothing. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I'm not in control of nothing. Okay? Now, I can control how I respond to people. And sometimes I'm good at that, and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I read you the riot act, and maybe I should have been a little bit nicer. I don't know. I had a friend who, she was kind of, how do I say? Kind of, if you yell at her, she might cry. Most likely she would cry. She gets her feelings hurt in a heartbeat. I have a pretty strong personality, so my feelings don't get hurt very often. She's more likely to cry if you raise your voice to her. I'm more likely to say, who in the do you think you're talking to? So we do things differently, you know. I knew that when we went out, and we used to walk her dogs every day. When we went out, if something were to pop off, you know, two females walking by themselves at night and whatnot, we did have the dogs with us, and the town we live in doesn't have a lot of crime. But besides the point, you never know. I knew that if anything were to pop off, I have to have both of our backs, because my personality is stronger than hers. So some people I could be blunt with and say, look here, you need to adjust your attitude. I don't know what's wrong with you. You can't really talk to her like that, because she's softer personality-wise, so you have to handle her differently. So you don't want to say, that dress makes your butt look humongous. You need to take it off. I mean, you just don't. Some people, some of your friends, you have that kind of joking personality where you could say and cuss each other out and let each other have it and insult the heck out of each other, and you just have like a war on words, and you're both hysterically laughing. Some people can't handle that because they take everything too personally, so you got to handle them a little differently, right? But yeah, God's doing the cleanup. He's removing people from my life who apparently need to be removed for whatever reason. Will I miss this person, this most recent person? Yes. Another thing that I find, let's see, what would the word be? Unacceptable. I was rejected my entire life. I was treated like I was no better than a tick on a dog's butt, okay? Disrespected to the hilt ever since I was born. And just to give you an example, well, those of you who've seen my other videos, you already know the kind of crap I've been through. I was told that I was called a bitch when I was a baby in the crib. Yes, a baby in a crib, and I was called a bitch back then. Okay? So, you know, I was obviously hated growing up. But that's just the way it is sometimes. I mean, I don't know. My nature is to, I kind of semi lost my track of thought, but that's what happens when you get old. Anyway, but anyway, um, I can be, my bark is my bark is really loud, but my friends also know that I have a kind heart. So they listen to the bark and they're like, anyway, right, uh-huh, yeah, woo, I'm scared, and they just laugh it off. Um, some other people, they're like that movie, oh, A Few Good Men, where Jack Nicholson says, they said, I want the truth. They're in the court and he says, I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. Some people can't handle the truth. And when their personality's taken a left turn, and they should took a right turn. I know where I was going. I'll get to that in a second. Yeah. Woo! Get older and your brain just fries. You can hear it like eggs in a pan, frying in a pan. Anyway, you can't handle the truth. Some people can't handle the truth. I don't care how you deliver it. I don't care how kind you were about it. I don't care how sweet you were about it. They can't handle it. So they're going to counterattack. One thing, this is what I was trying to say before I lost my train of thought. And stop laughing. It's not funny. But I was rejected and hated my whole life, right? Okay? That's never going to change. That's the facts. That's the facts, Jack. And because of it, I'm very protective of people who are on the receiving end of injustice. I can't stand that. Ooh, I can't stand that. I also do not have a tolerance for people um, who are homophobic, because we're all in the same boat. People who are of color, people who are disabled, people who are gay, people who are transgendered, we are all part of the same team because nobody likes us. Society looks at us like, ugh. So we're all in the same family. So why in the hell would I be hated my whole life and then turn around and hate somebody because they're gay? Does that make any sense to you? I was called a bitch when I was a baby, and I'm supposed to develop this attitude as an adult. If you do something outside of the society norm, I'm going to hate you like I was hated. That's stupid. And I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to tolerate anybody who does it. You want to hate? Baby, you go for it. Let me know how that works for you in the long run. You can combat hate with good. You can combat hate with love. And I'm going to go there because I don't care. Religious people could be the worst. Oh, yes, I went there. Religious people can be the worst people around. Attitude from hell. If you do this, you're going to burn in the fires of hell. Hell and damnation. Right, and you're not going to get in trouble for that, Mr. or Mr. Holy freaking Roller. You're not going to get in trouble for judging me harshly. Maybe you should read your Bible a little more closely. Religious people could be the worst. The worst. The most judgmental, the most hateful people on the planet. Now, is there a difference between religious and spiritual? You bet your butt there is. You could go to church 2-3 times a week. I know people that go to church 2-3-4 times a week, and they're horrible. I was engaged to somebody who did that, and he was horrible. Thank you, Jesus, I'm so holy. And he was verbally and physically abusive. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. freaking Hyde. Religious people can be the worst. Now, if you have people who truly love God, when you really love God, and he's in your heart and soul, and he's deep into the core of who you are, and you turn your life over to him and you claim him as your Lord and Savior, and no, I'm not Miss Pollyanna, perfect Bible thumper, but I'm just keeping it real. When God is deep inside you, you have no choice but to love, because that's what God is. God is love. It is not your responsibility or anybody else's responsibility to tell God to get out the way. I'm going to judge these people for doing the wrong thing. I'm going to send them to hell. God, get out of here, please. I'm going to do it. Who the heck do you think you are? He made the world and everything in it. He don't need your freaking help. How about that? He don't need your help. And he don't need you beating somebody over the head with the Bible and using the Bible as a weapon. Where in the Bible does it tell you to do that? Show me the scripture, huh? Show me. You can beat the people with the Bible, tell them how terrible they are, tell them if they're gay or going to hell, transgendered going to hell. Who in the freaking hell do you think you are judging other people? You ain't perfect. Case in point, you're judging other people. And what in the hell? I'm on a roll today. Bear with me. What in the hell does somebody's personal life have anything to do with your stupid life? What does it have anything to do with? Does that affect bills being paid in your house? Who's transgender, who's gay? That don't have nothing to do with you. And that don't have nothing to do with the bills being paid in your house. If more people would mind their own business, the world would be a great place to live. Mind your own Kool-Aid. And instead of spreading hate, why don't you spread love for a change? Oh, did I go there? Yes, I did. Spread love for a change. Stop exerting all your energy telling all these people how horrible they are when you're not perfect yourself, and you're even more imperfect because you're judging them. That's wrong too. The Bible says, judge not lest you be judged. Knock it off. There is absolutely no need to spread hate. And you're supposed to be of God? What? That don't make any sense. There's something flying around in here. Don't you just love bugs? I don't know what their purpose is other than to drive me nuts. But anyway, and the more you try to talk logic into these people who are judging and homophobic, terrified of it ain't got nothing to do with your life. Chill out. The more you try to talk sense into them, and the more you try to say it's not a choice, there could be a genetic component. I mean, there's a lot of factors. It is a multifaceted situation. It's not a choice. So I recommended this person I had issue with. I recommended that they go to YouTube and that they watch and listen to coming out stories, so they would have a complete understanding of what gay people go through, or transgendered people go through, or whatever the deal is. You can get to the bottom of it and hear directly from that person what's really going on, instead of listening to Tom, Dick, Harry, Sally, Sue, this doctor, this scientist, this, that, this, that. Let me explain you something. There could be two different surveys. One says this is the worst thing ever, and the other survey says this is the best thing that ever happened to you. Do it all the time. So I don't listen to surveys. I think that's a load of crap. Okay. And surveys are going to, if someone's paying you to do a survey, naturally the money is the incentive. So you're going to make the survey go more towards their favor. Okay. Look at criminal situations in court. It should be a lot more cut and dried than it is. But that's not the way the law works. This person will say, the evidence shows da 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 da, and the defense will say, that's completely impossible, and these are the reasons why. So don't be listening to external, okay? Go directly to the source and stop making assumptions based on something that you don't have any clue what you're talking about. Case in point, another case in point. A long time ago, I watched Oprah, and it was pertaining to And I apologize ahead of time. This might be a trigger warning, so let me just let you know ahead of time. It was pertaining to adults that like to molest children. They're pedophiles. If you ever want to know how a pedophile's mind works, you don't listen to scientists. You go directly to them and you find out from them. How do you recruit children? What is some of the verbiage that you use? How do you know that a child is vulnerable and open to da 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 da, A, B, C, D? Hear it directly from the source's mouth. Don't freaking listen to external crap. And don't make judgments off of something that you don't know what in the hell you're making a judgment on because you refuse to learn more. Now, if you've learned that situation from the inside out and you've gone directly to the source and you still have the same opinion, well, then that's your opinion. But I don't judge people and cut them off because of a lifestyle that may not be identical to mine. We're two different people. Why do I expect you to be identical to me? We're two different people. And everybody don't have to do what you expect them to do. Who do you think you are? I talked to a guy online today. He had the nerve. He had the nerve, and I addressed him, and he disappeared. He quit talking. He's up here talking about, my woman is not going to wear makeup. What the hell? I said, you're one of those, huh? Women wear makeup for themselves. It's not to cover up your looks, it's to enhance what you already have. Unless you're, I'm not trying to be mean or funny, but unless you're Tammy Faye Baker and you've got 1,000 layers of foundation on your face, that's obviously a little bit much, if you know what I'm saying. But normal people don't do that, right? They don't put so much makeup off. You need a garden shovel to get it off. Okay? It's to enhance what you already have. You don't tell grown people what they can and cannot do. She ain't gonna wear no makeup. I don't tolerate that. So she goes to a wedding, or she goes to some special event, or she goes to church, or she goes on vacation and she wants to look extra pretty. She can't because you said so? You have lost every bit of your mind. You have lost every bit of your mind. And here's another thing about control freaks. Sometimes they find people with low self-esteem. Let's just keep it real. They find somebody with low self-esteem who does obey them. Well, let me make this for dinner. This is what he wants, or this is what she wants, or let me, tiptoe on eggshells because I don't want to make them mad. I can't wear that dress. It's too short. He'll have a cow. Or I can't, talk to my female friends. I'm a guy, but I can't talk to my female friends anymore because my woman's real jealous, or whatever the scenario is. Even when you obey them, they're still miserable. They're still miserable. They're still angry. And they're still finding something else to be mad at you about. So get some therapy and stop trying to control grown-ass people. Get some therapy. When somebody reaches the age of 18 plus, they could do what they freaking want to do within the law. They could do what they want to do. Now, their parents can tell them, yeah, well, we don't want you to go to that school. This college is better, but it's up to you. It is your life. You could give your input, but you can't wag your finger and take your belt off and say, you going to the college I said you going to. You can't do that to grown people. You just can't, unless you want to go to jail. You assault them, go upside their head, you go to jail. So you don't rule people. You just don't do that. Male, female, child, whoever the heck you are, somebody from outer space. You don't control other people. You don't tell a grown-ass woman she can't wear makeup. Have you lost your mind? Whew. Woo, child. Woo. Let me calm down. Yeah, you don't do that. You don't do that. And I'm sure your mama's just so thrilled that you came out like that. Maybe he has a Chris Brown syndrome. Because you know what else follows that control, that desire for control? Physical abuse and verbal abuse. When the person doesn't comply, which they don't have to comply because they're grown. Like I said, they're grown. So then now they want to call you names, and now they want to go upside your head, and now they want to do this, that, and the other. you know, because you will not obey them. Nobody has to obey you. Go get some therapy, sweetheart. Go get some therapy. Okay? Okay, baby? So, anyway, my question to you all is, can you handle constructive criticism? Somebody telling you about yourself in love, no character assassination. Can you handle that? Because a lot of people can't. And this person, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but this person said something to the effect of, well, you're not, I'm going to paraphrase because I can't remember exactly. Well, you're not so perfect yourself. I already know that. As a matter of fact, when I had issues and I've had strong feelings about something, I would go to this person and say, let me present you with this situation. Am I overreacting? Is there a way I could have handled that better or whatever? So don't be sitting here acting like I'm coming down on you and acting like Pollyanna perfect, because I was trying to, if I was trying to be perfect, I would never come to you when I have an issue. Duh. But people don't want to look at themselves, so they want to deflect. Deflection doesn't work for me. I'm too smart for that. I can recognize that a mile away, sweetness. I recognize that a mile away. So, nice try. Anyway, so life has so many twists and turns. It really does. But think about that question. Think about, can you handle, if you were, for example, and I've talked about this in other videos too, if you were losing your mind or you were acting in a way that is totally not the norm, and your friends or your family said, you know what, dude or woman, whatever, why are you so angry? Or why are you so depressed? Or why did you snap at so-and-so when we all went to dinner the other day? What is going on with you? What's happening with you? Because you're, you know, and if you have to approach somebody, here's another aspect. If you have to approach somebody because they're losing it or they're behaving in a way that's not them normally, okay, make sure that you're not accusatory, okay? Make sure that you're not going, you are an idiot. I mean, obviously people, they don't respond well to that, okay? But, and when you confront them, not in a mean way, okay? But when you confront them and you say, you know, you're acting in a way that you normally don't, and I'm kind of concerned about it, or I'm worried about it, or this is what I observed, what's going on with you, and this behavior or this attitude about whatever is going on, this is going to be destructive, and these are the reasons why. So if you're going to present something to someone, give them examples, okay? So don't just say, you've been acting a fool lately. You have to give them a little bit more than that. Like, okay, we went, like I said, we went to dinner the other night and you jumped all over Susie. Why did you do that? She was just joking, or whatever. Or this person, you attacked them when everybody was laughing because it was a joke and you were taking it personally. What, I noticed you've been doing that a lot lately. And then you give another example. So don't just say, you're being a butt. Give them examples. This is when, you know, we went to the barbecue, or we went to the movie, or we did this, or we did that, and everybody was looking at me like, why is your friend acting like that? Or whatever the case is. Give them examples. Give them specific examples. Because people don't always know that they're behaving in a way that they normally don't. They don't always know that. And if they never want to take responsibility for their actions and they want to get worse and worse and worse, you may have to cut them off. You may have to be done with them, especially if they're acting in a way that is unacceptable. And somebody condemning someone because their lifestyle is not identical to yours, that is unacceptable. Sorry, it is. None of my friends are like that. None of my friends do that. They don't judge other people. We might do it in a joking way, but we also make fun of each other. So that's not meanness. That's just acting stupid. You know, you act stupid with your friends. You know, but I mean, I don't know. I'm, you got two choices in life. As you get older, two choices. You can either become better as a person, or you can become worse. And all too often I see people get worse. Not only do they get worse, but they have the audacity and the nerve to justify their hatred. Nah, that's not good. That's just not good. It's not going to work for me. Love you to death, but that's not going to work for me. Spread more love, people. Spread more love, okay? Speaking of love, I love you guys. Thank you, subscribers. Thank you, viewers. I can't talk today. What is the deal? But I am perfect. Anyway, if you're going to accuse me of something, you got to be accurate. I know I'm not perfect. Okay? Anyway. And like, for example, I need to be hooked on phonics. I can't speak today. But I think you guys are awesome. I think you're amazing. You're special. Don't let anyone tell you any different. Everybody has special talents, and everybody has special things about them that no one else has. So, like I said, you're going to either get better in life or you're going to get worse. And in order to improve who you are, you have to self-examine, and you have to know what your flaws are and know what your weaknesses are, and make a point to strengthen your weaknesses as time goes on. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to admit, but sometimes I have PTSD, and I have an anger issue sometimes, and I do not have patience for stupidness. I have zero patience for people who act stupid. I just don't have a lot of patience for that. And people being evil and discriminatory and racist and homophobic, and I don't have patience for that at all. And I'm working on it every day. And I'm also still recovering from someone who had a multitude of psychiatric issues, including dissociative identity disorder, which used to be called multiple personality disorder. She pretended she was dying of cancer for 3-4 years, and she never was dying of cancer. And so I'm still recovering from that, because when I love you, even though you don't love me, but when I love you and you manipulate my emotions and pretend you're dying and I'm grieving for you before you're gone and it's all a lie, you damn right that leaves a toll on me. It leaves emotional scars on me. So I'm working on that. I'm working on that every single day. So no, I'm not perfect. You know, none of us are. So yeah, like I said, if you're going to accuse me of something, you need to be accurate. Never said I was perfect, although I'm close. Anyway, I love you guys. Take care, and I'm sending you a hug through the computer. You guys take care of yourself. I love you. Bye.